Okay, I'm here with another live. I'm doing a lot different here. I've been working on a lot of different things this weekend. Most all things failed. This one here, I am going to try to just get everything going. I'm going to get my drone up in the air. Look how terrible my yard looks. This little ethofumizate, it's coming back though. I actually put some seed down from last season. I don't know if you can see here. I'm just putting my drone up in the air here. Oops. So I hope that all my, looks like everything is set up good. I have a monitor going. Well, that screen does not show. Hold on a second. Let me go change my screen real quick. It does not show that. It looks like my camera already crapped out on me. I don't know what's going on with this one camera. Give me 1 second here, I'm on the wrong. There we go. Sorry, I had the wrong monitor going. Yeah, I'm technically challenged. Sure you know that by now. Okay. So is this camera working? No. Well, maybe it will. I got my mower ready. I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it and do it. Been working on a lot of different things. This is definitely the first time I've done this whole, I got my live drone shot going. So if anything, hopefully that one stays on. But through all my setup, it's been on longer than it needs to be. I gotta start my mower. Mark. So I'm just mowing to mow, like usual. You know, I've just been doing these wintertime lives, trying to get all my, I'm trying to do some technical stuff, you know, more technical than I can handle myself, but loose again. I was going to do a whole live like I used to do this morning. You know, I've really been working on doing this whole live stream with a vertical shorts live, and I don't know. It wasn't working right. I could get it to live stream and do a horizontal or a vertical, but it's not doing the vertical of what I'm setting up. So I'm trying to work on that stuff. Like I said, it's too technical for me. I don't really know anybody else that does OBS. you know, live stuff. I've been using AI a lot to try to figure this stuff out. And I'm switching right now from AI ChatGPT to Gemini. I saw a video on YouTube that was talking that Gemini had a better AI function. So I tried it, and I basically tried it by talking to it and asking it the same questions that I was asking ChatGPT and seeing how the conversations were going. And I actually liked the conversations. They seemed more in detail. They seemed better, you know, from technical stuff to just questions to just, you know, talking about computer stuff. I mean, I get myself way over my head with computer projects, and like I'm upgrading. I just upgraded my computer, and I added another 15 terabyte drive. And my problem is I've got so many drives going. I don't throw anything away. I don't get rid of anything, and I've got so many drives going that I don't have enough docks. Because, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, I buy these 15 terabyte hard drives, and, you know, they're cheap, you know, but they hold a lot of data. And, you know, I do so much video and photo. I mean, you think lawn mowing is crazy what I do? You should see some of the other stuff I do, video and, you know, photos. I do all kinds of stuff. And that's what keeps me really busy. And I do it just to, I mean, I say to keep me out of trouble, but I still get into trouble doing stuff. And I mean, like going to the casino when I shouldn't be going to the casino, and I do that. You know, we watch our grandson every Saturday. In fact, he spent the night last night, and so realistically, I have like one day a week that I work on video and audio and all the stuff that I do. And every year I add a new drive for more space. And I just started using these, you know, large 15 terabyte drives. I don't know if I said gigabyte before or not, but they're terabyte. They're terabyte drives what I'm using. And so I had to buy one of those enclosures to store some drives on. And both of my sons are really technical savvy with computers and stuff like that. So I call them a lot, but I've been trying not to call them as much and use the AI more. And I still get in trouble doing stuff. And since I'm just mowing, I'll just give you a perfect example. Last night, I got my enclosure all hooked up. I swapped my drives over into it. You know, I do everything one at a time. If I'm changing something, I change it one thing at a time. So I'm putting these drives into this enclosure, so I do that one step, make sure it works. If it works, then I move on to the next step, because then I needed to move another drive. Because I just had it just laying in the bottom of my computer because it didn't have a slot to fit into when I put it in there. And I just found a spot in the bottom of it to put it there. So I did that. And since I moved these other two drives out of the bays where they were, I opened up two bays. One for my drive that was laying there and one for my new drive. So I'm thinking I'm all cool and all this stuff. I got this enclosure working. I was happy with how that was working. You know, my drives were there, my files were there. Everything was fat, dumb, and happy. And I hook these hard drives up, and I hook them up one at a time. So I'm trying to put my hard drive that has all my information on it, I'm trying to hook it up first, just to make sure it works okay. And I get this message, I don't know what it means, because I am not technically savvy at all. And it just basically says unallocated drive. And I was like, oh God, what did I do? There's no information on it, and I'm freaking out that I thought I lost all my data. Like, I don't know, I hooked it up wrong or I did something. You know, and long story short, I just hooked up the wrong drive. I hooked up my brand new drive. And then I didn't know, but so I took the drive out, turned everything off, took the drive off, and I opened the drive bay up to look at them, and I realized, oh, I hooked up my brand new drive and not my old drive. So I hooked up the wrong drive to test out. So I fixed all that, got it going, and so miraculously, hey, it worked. My drive was there, all my files were there, everything was great. So I was trying to edit these videos to do a live this morning. So I started working on videos and editing videos and doing all that kind of garbage. And you know, next thing I know, it's like 11 o'clock, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. So I hope these cameras are still working for you. The drone's gonna fall out of the sky here pretty soon. I see the one camera is choppy. It's got 30% battery, but it's gonna land. So anyways, I was working on doing all that. I never got my live out. I had all these videos I got ready, and I had been researching a whole bunch of stuff, and you know, I really want to start getting ready for the new season with some, you know, really good information that I've just been learning. You know, I've been learning and absorbing so much, I'm going to say, data. And it's like the more I learn, the more I just, like, I can't believe all this stupid crap I've been doing, and I've been listening to all these people on YouTube giving all this bad advice. And, you know, you may think my yard looks like crap right now. Okay, yeah. I do a lot of things to my yard through the year. Grass is one thing that I don't stress over. It grows, it's gonna grow, no matter what I do. And what I was saying I did earlier is I really don't know why this camera is so choppy. I don't know if this one's any better, but I'm gonna move it. Gotta watch where I'm walking. So the reason I have all the bad spots on my lawn is from the ethofumizate. When I did this ethofumizate spray on my yard, I was testing it out. You know, it's wintertime. My yard already looks like crap in winter because, you know, I grow Kentucky bluegrass. Kentucky bluegrass in the wintertime is terrible because it thins out, it stops growing, it turns yellow and brown, especially when it gets really cold. So I just mess with it. You know, it's gonna grow back. you know, I got to reseed a lot of spots, and I believe I was talking last week about how I'm going to probably add some creeping red fescue into my shade areas of my yard that, you know, they just don't grow in the wintertime. So like right here where I'm at right now mowing, this whole area right here is dead. All right here, right where the mower is, there's nothing here. No sunlight all winter long. And the Kentucky bluegrass does not like that. And so I think if I add some of that shade mix, it's called Confident Shade. It's basically mostly creeping red fescue. You know, my neighbor's yard that I take care of, Wilson, you know, I've been doing a whole big thing on his yard because I'm not taking it over as much as I'm just taking care of it for him. And I told him, I said, you know, I just don't have enough lawn to take care of. And I like that we did his yard in perennial rye because as much as I really don't care for perennial rye, it gives me the opportunity to just follow that yard so you can see the active growing differences. It's kind of like my Bermuda project in my backyard. You know, I'm growing Bermuda grass in Western Washington. And I'm gonna put this camera over here. Maybe I'll get a better view, I don't know. So I need to get the drone down. I'm gonna go change the height of cut on my blade. So I'm gonna move this other camera in the garage while I do that. I don't know if this camera right here is gonna last the whole time. Actually, I need to move this camera. Oh shoot, I got seed on my shoes. I shouldn't be walking over here. I'm gonna put this camera right here. It's this camera right here that I gotta move into the garage. I'll move that when I move the lawnmower over there. Anyways, so I like it that I'm just kind of dialing in Wilson's yard. And his yard looks great this time of year. And you know, like I said, it's perennial rye. You know, Doug across the street, he's got Kentucky bluegrass like I do. And Kathy down the street, same thing. She put the Kentucky bluegrass in. She, you know, both of them just really like my lawn, the way it looks. I don't think they realize in the wintertime how bad it starts looking. So, I've been doing the best I can to help them make their lawns look as good as possible. You know, Kathy's yard is fairly new. Doug's yard's a little bit more established. We got it down at the end of August, and it was able to get established pretty well before wintertime really set in. Kathy's lawn suffered a little bit more. It really didn't get established, and it's really thin. The last cold spell we got, you know, it's really short. It really started yellowing, and with that, I gotta get my drone. She asked me if there was anything I could do to get it going, and I told her I've been meaning to come over and put fertilizer on it, you know, some iron and some nitrogen. But you know, it's been so rainy and cold that I just haven't been able to do that. So the drone's gonna go out here. I just gotta put another battery in it real quick. So I was able to get over there and do that, and it shaped up. I put iron and nitrogen, urea on it. So I'm just gonna set this guy like that right there until I'm ready to go. Okay, so, oops, it did connect. Okay, so the drone's connected, it's ready to go. Okay, it's gonna take me a quick second to change the blade height here. It's not that big a deal. I am putting it back down at 2 millimeters. I'm trying to really get this putting green to thicken up in the areas where it's really good. So I'm gonna get back to the ethyl fumicate thing I was talking about. You know, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but that's just because I'm old and I forget what I'm talking about when I start moving cameras and stuff like that. So you gotta forgive me. So the ethyl fumicate that oh shit, my sandbag came off. The ethyl fumicate that I put down. So when I was doing it, I really was testing out how much the grass was going to be able to take. I mean, I hit it kind of hard. Now, I didn't mix it really strong, but what I did is I did 2 applications within 2 weeks of each other. And I did a pretty heavy application of it each time. When I say heavy, I mean, I didn't just spray it and then move on. I kind of sprayed it and then I had a little left over, so I kind of sprayed it again. And, you know, and it's all in good fun. It's all in how much is this going to take in the wintertime and get rid of this POA? Is it going to grow back? Is it not going to grow back? And so hence why I have all the brown patches in my lawn. And, you know, it did do some damage, but I'm noticing now that, you know, we've been getting some warmer temps here recently, but it's going to get cold again this week. I mean, the wintertime is so up and down here, it's crazy. But we've been like in the mid 50s for the last, you know, week or whatever it's been. And let's see, what am I doing? I'm going down. So I need to turn it counterclockwise. And I believe I'm set at 8 millimeters, so I need to go down pretty good. Let's see, I don't know if I'm blocking the camera for you guys. I don't even know how well that camera's working. I could be just talking to myself. It happens. So, I noticed in the last week, you know, because I've said before, this time of year, I don't see my grass really. I'm starting to see it a little bit in the morning when I go to work. But for the most part, I don't see my grass until the weekend. Okay, we're at 3 right now. That's pretty good. But I'm going lower. So last week when I adjusted it, you know, I'd adjusted it to 2. And then when I went and I adjusted for the Kentucky bluegrass height of 8, I realized I checked the measure on the bed knife, and it was. And I just screwed this all up. It was like 1.8. So, which I don't mind. I like that. I want to cut this grass as short as possible. Oh, this is at 5. Holy mackerel. Yeah, this freaking knob is coming out of the. The knob was coming out of the bracket here, so it wasn't adjusting. Jesus. Almost there. Man, this is really being a pain today for some reason. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it right there. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what this is. So like I said, the ethofumicate, you know, did a number on my grass. But it does look like it's starting to recover. And I just put down the last of my seed on my last year's seed. I just threw it out there. I'm not expecting it to do anything, but I ordered some new seed. I got new seed in, and it's mostly the shade mix that I've been looking for, because that's what I really need to add to my yard for the winter time. I mean, I don't mind the yard looking like crap in the winter. The Kentucky bluegrass thinning out the way it does, it's fine. But the shade areas are really what I'm trying to. The shade areas are what I'm trying to really deal with, and I'm not happy with that at all. Now the biggest problem is that all the dirt and the grass that gets on these wheels, I mean, that's stuff that affects your adjusting. When you're adjusting at millimeters, you know, a little grain of sand or a little blade of grass makes a lot of difference. Okay, well, hopefully this is still kicking. Looks like everything's still playing. So I'm gonna set my camera up down here. And I'll set my other camera up over here. Launch the drone. And I just finished the putting green. I'm sorry it's so late. It's like 4:20, everybody's favorite time. Turned on. This putting green is actually growing really nicely. I mean, when I mowed the Kentucky bluegrass, it was barely cutting any grass at all. That was a rock. Now that I'm mowing this bent grass, there is definitely some grass coming out of here. And I mowed last week, so now when I added the nitrogen and iron to Kathy's yard, I mixed it up for everybody's yard. I put some on Doug's yard, I put some on Wilson's yard. So I think we're getting some. Oh, the drone just landed. What happened? Yeah, I don't know. The drone's got an issue. Oh well. I've never had an issue with this thing before. Let's see if I can just get it reconnected real quick. Just gotta give it a minute. So again, with all the stuff I'm doing in the wintertime, I'm just having fun doing these lives. You know, I'm just doing lives. I'm just trying all this different stuff out, all these different settings. I'm just waiting for the drone to connect to some satellites. I'm trying to get upgrades to my computers done. I'm trying to work on some video editing stuff and techniques. And there we go. I don't know why I'm unable to take off. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. Drone's got an issue. Obviously restarting it didn't help. So I'm just going to move on and finish my mow. Well, that's a drag. Oh, let me stop recording on my drone though. Yeah, I've never had an issue with my drone not taking off. Oh well. Yeah, so see, this is like another thing. So I just figured out how to do my drone live. And of course, now that I figured it out, my drone doesn't want to work. I'm going to take the battery out and I'm going to reset it. I thought that'd just be a nice, neat little touch to be able to play my drone live, you know, while we're doing this stuff here. So I think I know why my cameras are choppy, and a lot has to do with when I was going through all this setup stuff on doing the live streams with the Gemini AI, it was having me change settings. And I think I have a setting too low or too high. I'm not sure which. You know, because like I said, I've been trying to do that whole, this is crazy. This stupid drone, it's not working. I'm gonna have to mess with that later. So I think now there's a setting that's just not working. because it shouldn't be choppy like that. I mean, I got really good internet speed. I've got my router, well, my extended router sitting right there on the porch. It should be connected to it pretty well. And for whatever reason, it's not. And I think it's the video bit rate. It had me change it. I'm gonna put this on the putting green here and just see if you can see how nice that putting green looks at that low angle. I'm really bummed out about that. I have never had this problem with my drone before. I've always just put it up in the air and it goes. So I gotta admit, this mint grass putting green is really taking it like a champ this winter. From everything I did to it in the fall. I mean, I really tore it up in the fall, and I, sanded it, reshaped it, and that was another thing I was going to show on my live, was how this whole area here that's not growing, how it's the area that I sprayed with Tenacity. And it's just kind of weird that all the rest of the putting green grew back in really well, except for those areas. And I really think I just put the grass seed down too early. And the Tenacity that was still in the ground affected it from germinating. So whatever, it'll grow. Winter will end someday. Well, at least it seems like my cameras are at least staying connected. As choppy as they are. So I think what I'm going to do is, as soon as I finish mowing, I'm going to get a golf ball and I'm just going to roll it. Because I mean, this putting green is, man, it's looking so great. And, I went all last year, ever since I've had my McLean, I've gone through this whole thing with it, thinking that I was cutting it really low. And until I got that digital height cut measuring tool, I didn't realize that I definitely was not mowing it as low as I thought I was. I am definitely right now cutting this thing at 2 millimeters. That's no joke. And this green is taking it like a champ. I got this McLean Greenskeeper lawnmower dialed in. With the bed knife. That new flat roller is doing great. And I really am kind of excited to see what this is going to look like this summer once it's, you know, grown back in full. And if it grows back in full, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to reseed those bad areas, dialed in. And man, if this thing continues to look like this, the way it is this winter, I'm going to be really happy with it. I mean, I just got too many projects I'm doing. I mean, I'm probably going to add grass to my side yard. I just talked to my friend Jason about that. He had knee surgery, and I asked him if he was ready to go back to work yet. So I told him I got some work. And he said he's ready, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me get this lawnmower out of here real quick. We'll grab a couple golf balls. I think I'm supposed to be cooking dinner right now, so those guys are going to be a little disappointed, but I'll get to it. So, got some golf balls. Well, I'm sorry if the feed wasn't so choppy, it would look a lot better, I think, but well, what are you gonna do? I can only imagine how the audio is coming out. Oh yeah, I can see that. Oh my God. I don't know if the connection on the drone's any better. Oh, man, I just got to get my OBS put back to where it was. Yeah, that's rolling really good. I mean, I'm barely throwing them in there. They're rolling really nice. So I know it's really dark out, but I don't know if you can see it. Let me put this down in a hole here. I can't turn that up anymore. So little white specks are still some of that bio, what am I using? Bio Advanced. GrubX, grub control, 24-hour grub killer. I'm trying to get the birds from tearing my lawn up. They've stopped. So yeah, so I don't know if you can see in here between all the grassy, but the grass is starting to come back and recover. Like I said, I threw a bunch of grassy down. It's gonna rain tomorrow. It's really wet. Yesterday when I was walking out here, it was, I think there's a weed in here. I think that still might be some POA. No, it's not coming out easy, so that's probably bent grass. Put that in my back pocket. So that's another thing. I just added some tenacity. So I don't know if you can see right here, bent grass. It looks like POA, but it's bent grass. And that's a sign because it didn't die with the ethofumicate. So this spot here, just starting to get some grass to grow back in. I don't know if you can see it like right in here. It's all green grass growing back in the middle of this spot. And then the outer edge is right in here. I know it's hard to see, but it's definitely there. Green coming back in. Maybe you can see it better right here. A lot of green all right in here in the center of this spot. So it's definitely coming back. Right here, a lot of green in there. So I did just lay down a application of Tenacity because now I need to start working on this bent grass in here. So I don't know if you noticed, so when I mow, the bent grass gets kicked on to my Kentucky bluegrass on the outside edges. And then also when I move the mower through the yard, it's got bent grass on it, so it drops on the grass and it gets in there. So that's a key reason why I use the bent grass or the Tenacity all the time to work on the bent grass. I shouldn't be walking on my putting green. I'm sure some of that Kentucky bluegrass seed is on my shoes. Anyways, so this is the big thing this season right here, is getting this part of the putting green back to shape and working on all these burn spots. But I did see what the whole deal with the ethofumizate is as far as the application and hitting it hard. I really feel like that grass is going to come back pretty good. Sorry it's so dark out and I got so late to it, but I was just excited. I got the drone working, and then it got the drone working and it's not working. It's terrible. Anyways, that's all I got. I think that was long enough. I gotta go cook dinner. And I only work 3 days next week, so that is gonna be great fun. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed at least something that I did. Always working on new things, trying to do things a little differently. I think this will be a great way to move into the new season with talking about upgrading your yard, fixing your yard, and how to take care of it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great day, or have a great night. Enjoy your work week.